So you see, I did not prep up anything. You see all the supplies tools that I use for when I make wreaths. You have the nippers, the needle nose, and sometimes I use my zip tie gun and the scissors for clipping off the frayed edges. So we're doing the poinsettia wreath today. So here's the center. I just thought these would make a good center. It's nice to go in the middle for the poinsettia. Today we're using the Unique in the Creek large board. We're using the emerald green poly burlap heat seal. Wood burned this poly burlap into 10-inch squares, and you'll need 8 pieces of this for how I'm making this one. And for the red, I did the same thing. You'll need 32 pieces. So altogether, 32 and 8, 40 pieces of poly burlap squared. Let's preload the board. So to preload the board, you grab 6-inch zip ties right here, and I'll be adding the zip ties on the second row, every set of holes, with my zip tie, flat side, and always facing up when you add your zip tie in there. So what I'll do here is I'm going to put this into one hole, and I'm going to bring it up the other hole, just like that. And you're going to close it a little bit, 2 zips, and good. So just load your zip tie closed. So always have your flat head, flat side facing the ceiling when you go down and up in the set of holes. Eight zip ties for row 4. We did 16 zip ties on the second row, third row 8, fourth row 8. So now I'm gonna be adding 4 in the middle. So all that is done. It's preloaded, as you can see in the back. At that aside, that board, and we'll start making the what we call the Dean Michael petal. Okay, and we'll need 8 of those. Let's just make 8 Dean Michael petals here quickly, or actually 7. So what I'm gonna do is have this curve side up, this is the good side of the poly burlap, I guess you can say. And then I'm just gonna switch this over this way with my manufactured edges, top left, bottom right. And I'm just gonna grab the bottom and put it over here. What I do to try to line up my poly burlap as best as I can. I know it's not gonna be perfect, but this is what I do. I clip it up there and I just flatten it out a little bit. And I'm gonna pinch here and pinch 1, pleat 2, pleat 3. And I'm just gonna turn it around and do the same thing, 2 and 3. Let's do another one here. Let's do 6 more of these, and we'll do the Rita petals, after a few of them after. Right where these holes, the hanging holes are, and then down. I'm not gonna add the green there. I'm gonna start adding the green right beside it. Just cause, I don't know. It probably won't affect anything. Just gonna add the green, grab my needle nose and close it up. You'll put your, when you do this, you'll put your tail end of the petal about an inch. Is it an inch? Probably an inch in there, yeah. About a thumb's width in there. And that's good. And you go, I'm gonna go every other with the green. With Dean Michael. Let's fold a few of these Rita petals. We call these in the Unique in the Creek wreathing world, we call this the Rita petal. If it's called different somewhere else, so be it. So what I'm gonna do, this is a squared 10 by 10 poly burlap. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna do the same thing, have my manufactured edges, which is these pretty lined up lines or darker lines over here that you see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this end, the bottom end, and put it over here to the tips and grab my clip. Actually, no, that's not how I make this. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Dean Michael. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna line these up using my clips. I'm gonna clip it right there. These don't have to line up. I'll show you here. So we can see the tips. Turn it around, and I'm just gonna flatten it. See now, this over here does not line up. It's all right. These, I'm looking at these, they need to be lined up so they'll be pointier when we add them into the wreath. And what I'm gonna do is flatten this out, and I'm gonna pinch from here to here, scrunch from here to here. Pinch and pleat, pinch and pleat. Just like that. See that? And you have a sort of mustache looking here thing here. And I'm just gonna hold it right here, and I'm gonna push this over. Putting my middle finger right there. See that? I'm gonna flip them together. Like together. So it's your preference here if you want these to be overlapping right here, or if you want them separated like that. So I'm just gonna have mine separated. Gonna grab this one and put it right there. Again, okay, let's do a few more like that. And we'll add those into there and see how it looks. My water. Okay. See my first one here. I'm just gonna slip it onto there, zip it up, and that's just what I'm gonna do for all these other 8. And you can always add your petal in there with the clip on it and hold it right there. Take off your clip, and you see your zip tie is already in there, and you're just gonna hold it and close it. That's the most easiest way you can add your petal in there without it being too without it unfolding. Jeez, I can't talk. So now we're going to cut off our zip ties with the pink nippers. What I do is when I cut off my zip ties tails right here, this long piece here, I always have my clip right there, put it in there, right down in there, right? Not up here where it's gonna poke you, where the other petal you lay in here is not gonna lay right because you have your zip tie tail too long. You have to cut it right down in there, just like that. See that? It's another thing. There we go. So that's all 16 petals on row 2 so far. Okay, let's add those in the board. On the third row, we're working on the third row now. So 8 of these, 1 petal per zip tie. There we go. Off again. Make sure your cutter, your nippers is right down to the head of the zip tie when you snip off the zip tie tail, so nothing will poke through, create the mess, or poke you. Okay, just like that. Row 3 is done. We're going moving on to row 4. So all that is in there. Row 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 is done. So we did nothing on row 1. So, but we added petals on 2, 3, and 4. So now we're adding them on row 5 for them to see how they look. And if they're not going to cover nicely, we'll go into the serred holes. I add our little center in there. You can see all that in there, and then we don't want that. So I'm just gonna add the 4 pieces. This is where we call the serred holes because there's zip ties in there already. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what I'll be adding in there as far as zip ties goes. All right, so let's add those zip ties. There we go. Now, though, isn't that nice and full? Look at that. It's different. Just the little green peeking through. I love it. It has a lot of dimension as well. There we go, and then we're going to add this in there. But I think I'm going to add a zip tie here and here. And then I add the balls. Right where these things meet up, right here is where I'm going to cut this. I can grab my longer 10-inch, or is it 12 inches? Yeah, 12 inch, 10 inch, don't matter. I have a 10 inch as well. I can use that. It will work. And again, I can always, what do you call, glue it down. Fold this over a little bit here so it won't come out. And glue that down. Spread these apart. This is on, so I'm just gonna add lots of glue in there and then try to get them to stick on there. It is beautiful. I like it. It's pretty. That's good time for now. Okay, so I'm just gonna that's good right there.